What a game that was, and it's sad to see it end this way, but hopefully I'm here to brighten your post-game blues because I'm proud of this team. And I really want to celebrate the players and how awesome this game was. There was some wild stuff that happened in this game, some crazy moments, and some that you probably missed because I was watching everything. So let's dive into it. First up, let's talk about the matchup. I'm sure all of us are tired of the experienced versus the inexperienced narrative, but it's kind of true. And top to bottom, this is a better built team. Alyssa Thomas can match Caitlin Clark in passing. She played the full game. She's a great defender. Even with the torn labrum, she's still sinking her shots and working us down low. The team has great defenders, great scorers, but really the difference was their bench. 6 to 18 in bench points, and our starters outscored their starters, but those bench points, that was the difference. And Nelson Adoda and Veronica Burton deserve all their flowers because those are the type of bench players that you want in a playoff game. The ones that show up and they perform defensively, offensively. They're just reliable as can be when you need those rotations. And the greatest trade deadline steal, and Marina Mayberry, who always was answering with threes, had the dagger at the end, and 27 points in the first game, 17 points in this game, I believe. And without her, the game probably looks different. I'm happy for her situation change, but I'm not happy that it was against us that we had to witness, that boost to the Sun lineup that really made the difference. But for those that we're watching, we did good against Carrington. Carrington had an off night. She had one really good steal against Clark. And other than that, she got burned on quite a few plays. She was negative on the floor for the night. So anyone that wanted the eye poke revenge game, you got a little bit of that. Even though it didn't end in a W, at least the Fever got the better of her. I'm proud of this team, though. They came in with energy. They were fighting for boards. Aaliyah Boston might have started a little bit cold, but the second half, she was everything. She had 19 rebounds in the night, 5 offensive rebounds. Caitlin Clark was sinking shots when she had to. Again, starting hot, getting a little cold in the middle, but still feeding, still making really tough drives to the basket, not even being called for fouls many times, but still finishing and sinking a clutch 3 at the very end down the stretch. Temmie, again, had a little off moments, but when it was crunch time, some of that like down low post game was crazy, which we'll get into later on. But I'm proud of this team, and I'm proud that they didn't back down. They got chippy, they stepped up, and I'm here for it. like a fan got ejected from the game, which was wild. The Sun were getting pulled into it. They started flopping on all these plays that weren't getting called, which you can just look at them here. It's pretty freaking hilarious to me. And it wasn't on my bingo card, but Erica Wheeler at the end of the second quarter gets this beautiful fast court break shot, misses unfortunately, but goes straight into the cameraman, goes down, gets injured. Her elbow, her arm, something happened there. And I heard that she was actually cleared to return to the game. She never did make a return to the game, so I don't know how injured or uninjured she was. But I mean, she was emotional into it. Usually she's the person trying to be the part of the leader of the de-escalation committee, but she was escalating this game, and I love to see it from Erica. A lot of hot and cold, and that is kind of how the first quarter went. The Fever started hot, but they weren't really capitalizing, and veteran teams, they come back. But that second half, both of the beginning of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, the team came out hot. They were delivering, they were making passes. The offense looked like it was working. It wasn't sputtering. And I know that there were some mistakes down the stretch, but man, her and Clark were gassed. They were tired. They were barely sitting. They were feeling it, and they were playing everything, all that pressure. It's understandable that mistakes are just going to happen, and you can only make so many mistakes, but they were in it. They had a chance. And really, the one thing I have to highlight is like down that end stretch when like the game was neck and neck, that post passing game that they found between Aaliyah Boston, Temmie, and that was beautiful. I wish that was in the entire game. It was almost this like aha moment for the offense of the Fever, and they were cooking. They were cooking the Sun. And it just came down to like a lot of games do, where it's all about made shots, and the Fever missed their shots to potentially go ahead or be in the driver's seat. And ultimately, Marina Mayberry and the Sun, they made that shot. They made the dagger, and they got to roll it out with free throws. There was a small window moment where Dwana Bonner overdid a pass, but still the Fever were down so much it wasn't likely for the comeback. Again, as sad as it is to have the season end, man, the potential for this team is so high. It's so high. And, I could talk about horrible rotations in the second quarter. I could talk about how the refs just straight up missed calls. Like they just did the same flagrant missed call yet again from last game, 2 games in a row. But the team had a shot. They fought and they earned a chance to win this game despite all the BS. I mean, I've had a blast this season watching this team and chatting with you all and creating this channel and creating content. And I'm hoping that the new president, Kelly Krauskopf, I hope that leads to good things for the team and for the fans, because everyone can see this is so close. They're so close to being a contender team and just having a few more pieces that they can run healthier rotations and they can potentially get a little bit of better defensive weapons, because the offense can be so good. A lot of it is predicated off of just having a defense that's good enough. Regardless of this being the end of the Fever season, I'm still going to be making content. I still have a bunch of ideas I want to do to wrap up the season, and anything that does happen as updates or news with the Fever, as well as just playoff content in general, because I think there's still a lot of awesome teams in the hunt, and I want to cover them because I think there's awesome basketball still ahead of us, regardless if the Fever are there or not. Remember to like or subscribe to catch those videos. Leave a comment down below of what your favorite moment from this game was, or the Fever season overall. I'm going to collect and probably do some kind of awards episode in the near future. And as always, but not for the last time, remember, you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. Catch you next episode.